I talk a whole lot on this channel about the lifeblood of what we do is return clients and treating people as well as we can, because without that, we are so close to becoming irrelevant that it's scary. On the flip side of that, what happens when they don't come back? I'm back at the table. I haven't sat in this spot in a while. The end of the year always gets crazy busy, but I had this happen to me and I wanted to sit down and kind of talk to you guys because it is one of the things that comes up every now and then of, well, what do we do when people just don't come back or when you kind of get screwed out of something? So I can kind of speak from experience on this one because I definitely felt myself kind of slip into those thoughts that the advice that I give you guys, I wasn't necessarily taking it in the moment, and I had quickly realized that. So a quick backstory, this is an artist that I've worked with a lot. I had mixed a whole lot of their stuff. It's not like I'm confused about what this person wants or what their view is for their end product. It's 20 plus songs that we've worked on together, to the point where this artist, they know what microphone they like, they know what effects they like, they know, we're in each other's heads. And typically when I send off a mix, I'm one or two mixes and then we're done. I had recently gone like way above and beyond with this person. And it's not something that they asked for, but it's moments like that where you're kind of, you leave yourself kind of scratching your head. Why did I go through the effort? And then why did they leave? And then where's the disconnect here? Now let me be super clear. This is not to discourage anybody from going above and beyond for your clients. I think that is very important. And even whether this person had stayed or left, I don't think that matters. Going above and beyond and like providing a whole lot of extra stuff that maybe they use or they don't use, I don't care. They can do whatever they want with that at any point. I think that's good for us as individuals to take on stuff like that when we have the opportunity to, and we have the ability to, and it's not going to break us financially or time-wise, because it kind of affords you the ability to go in interesting directions creatively and kind of flex different muscles when the pressure's not on you because somebody's asking for a product. But if you have this opportunity to do something for someone, whether they use it or not, you can learn, wow, look at that squeaky. You can learn a whole lot about the craft and about your own taste doing something like that. So I think that is really good and we should still do that. But it's on that flip side why I was a little confused about what happened. And I think this happens more often than not. And even hearing some of the things from you guys and some of the consults that I do with you, it is kind of a common theme that when you go above and beyond for somebody, that's when they see themselves as more valuable. They start getting a different group of individuals surrounding them, hearing advice from different people, which they absolutely should. But all it takes is one person who's kind of predatory in that aspect to turn everyone else into an enemy. And that's the sad part about the industry is there are kind of like sharks out there who, as soon as they see somebody with any amount of success, all of a sudden everyone else is an enemy. And they will kind of do whatever it takes to convince that person that the only person that can help them is them. I want to describe why, this situation sucks, and I lost a lot of time, and I was working on something that I really believed in. I thought this person was going to do really good stuff, but I really think they're going to come back. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter, but let me tell you why I think that, and why I think still doing stuff like this is absolutely worth our time. So even though I did all of this extra stuff and it's seemingly for nothing and I've lost a long-time client, there's different ways that people can kind of break off that relationship, right? Sometimes it's clean and, hey, we're looking to go in a different direction. That's awesome. Best of luck. There's other times where it's a little more like passive aggressive, I guess. And this kind of comes from a place where people who are not they haven't worked with as many people in the industry and they don't realize how small the industry is. So any amount of like that kind of weird double speak doesn't really get you very far. How I found out what was happening was, again, I had mixed tons of songs, 20 plus songs for this person. So they had their branding down, they had the sound down. This last mix that I provided, I knew something was weird. Not with the mix. The mix sounded like every other song they put out. But they kept coming back with, hey, I'm showing everybody this, and they're saying that the quality is just not good at all. And it wasn't like, I couldn't get a solid answer on what it is. I thought there was something wrong with what they were using to stream the thing. They were saying it was staticky, the edits were bad. Like, long story short, I couldn't hear what they were talking about. So there was a disconnect there. They asked for the acapella, which totally fine. I give that to all of my clients anyway. I give instrumentals, acapellas. So yeah, we still can't nail it down. Can you give us like each individual tracked out voice? Yeah, sure, no problem. So I gave the unprocessed stems. At that point, kind of knowing what was happening, but I don't care. Those are your files. You can take them and do whatever you want with. That's your stuff. So I give them all the unprocessed file. Then they want the processed individual tracks with the effects and the 2-bus processing on each individual track. Well, I'm like, now that's a little weird. Now we're getting into territory where, one, we don't have an approved mix. It sounds like you're going with somebody else, but you want all of these things. If this was my client and I knew this was my mix and I had control over, everything, and I knew I was going to get credit, absolutely. But this looks like somebody's recreating something. So I had an honest conversation, and yeah, that's exactly what was happening. They had met up with somebody who was in their ear, said the quality wasn't good, but they could fix it. But they needed all of my processing to do it. Those in the know that that's never going to happen. If an engineer thinks they can beat your mix, they're going to beat your mix. And they should beat it on those terms. And it happens all the time, and that's how you learn. That's good. You need to lose a couple shootouts, but let's not pretend like we should start engaging in unfair things or start claiming that other people's work is our own. That's not a sustainable thing. That person may have won a client one time based on somebody else's work, but as soon as it gets to their own merits, they're not going to stick around because they realize that, wow, this only happens when somebody else started the process for me. So how should we feel when this kind of crap happens? I don't know that there's a good answer other than I wanted to show you guys this happens at wherever you are in your career. Now, I don't necessarily feel like I've reached any necessarily big plateau with my career. That's the thing with, I guess, wherever you're at in your walk in this whole thing, you feel like you're still trying to get better. And I think that's the mark of a healthy career in any aspect. But I also recognize and appreciate that some of you guys trying to get started, you might look at somebody in my position and say like, man, I just wish I could get to that point. I wholly appreciate that, and I don't want to take that for granted. But it happens it happens when you first start. It happens a lot when you first start. It still happens where I'm at. And it happens beyond where I'm at. Like some of my mentors that I look up to, it still happens to them. It doesn't necessarily get easier. However, the one thing you have to keep in mind with all of this is you can't let it jade you. Because I've seen so many individuals, when this has happened to them, they become that angry sound guy. And I think you know exactly what I mean. Or the angry audio engineer. And that benefits literally no one. If I lose a couple bucks from this person over here, but I can still work hard to get everything that I know a client wants, and I can still put my everything into like the creative vision of what's happening, then that's going to make some amount of clients happy. It's not going to make everyone. Some are going to look to kind of abuse that a little bit, and it's going to happen. You have to realize that. But you can't let yourself fall away from the passion of what's happening right in front of you at the time because somebody screwed you over. There's too much good stuff out there to miss because of one bad thing. And realize this is just as much me talking to myself as I am like pleading with you to not let your mind go there. And this is not something I could have said to myself even a few years ago, okay? This is just as much for me as it is to hopefully toss it out there for somebody to hear and it resonate with. Clients will leave. Clients will also come back. We should still give everything we have to every individual project because the ones who it works for and the ones that we really, really click with, those are the ones who are going to go out and talk. Here's the thing. The one that left, if they go out and talk, what are they going to say? He gave me everything I asked. He gave me processed stuff. He gave me unprocessed stuff. He did 6 mixes and never charged me a dime for another. Did you not like it? That's totally fine. nothing was charged. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it and you move on. So where's the bad press here? He didn't do what I liked. Okay, maybe you're not for that person. Just don't worry. And again, just much me talking to myself as I'm talking to you. We do this because we love it. Music, working with people, musicians, creating art like this, we do it because we can't do anything else. And if that's what we can kind of keep and focus, then it really doesn't matter on the other side of it. Because even though it's really hard to see in the beginning of your career, like a lot of the stuff just takes care of itself. If you treat other people the way you want to be treated, as cheesy and hokey as that sound, that's all it is. That's really all it is. That's as simple as it gets. And if that's all you take from the video, then I suppose this video could have been awfully short. But anyway, if you guys resonate with this, or if you've had experiences like this, please let me know in the comments down below, because I want stuff like this to be, I hope it's approachable, and I hope it kind of shows you a side to this stuff that I guess is rarely talked about. Maybe it's talked about a lot and I just don't see it. But at least of individuals that I see like preparing for this and coming out of audio school, when I have interactions and mentorships with them, like, this isn't something that they're necessarily prepared for, or that they think is even a possibility that could happen. It is. So let me know what you guys think down below. Has this happened to you? Do you think it'll ever happen to you? Words of encouragement for each other. Consider hitting the subscribe button if you like this kind of stuff. Hit the like button. If you didn't like it, send it to your enemies. I'm sure they will hate it too. I'm Resident Loser Jeremy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.